Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to continue our look at Blackened by Metallica. So we took a look at really the whole opening section of the song leading up into the first verse in the first lesson, and it got enough likes, so we're going to finish the song now. So this one's going to cover all the rest of the riffs in the song and the little harmony guitar interlude they have in the middle of it that happens pretty much right before the first guitar solo. And in the next two lessons, we'll take a look at Kirk Hammett's two guitar solos. So those will be coming too. So let's take a look what I just played when I just went into the verse riff, which is pretty much the first riff that happens after everything that we've covered so far. All right, so let's take a look at this. We're still in standard tuning here. We're going to start out with the E power chord, just kind of palm muted. Okay, 6 times. Then grab the B flat power chord. That's off the first fret of the A string with the 3rd fret on the D. And now I'm going to heavily palm mute this little line. So we're going to basically 2 different things there that I just played. So we had this. So we have that power chord, then 2, 3, then 2, 1. On the A string, and then the 3rd fret on the low E again. So we have this. So we have that in between those palm muted downstrokes. Just repeat it. Now on the last time, the 3rd time through, I'm sorry, we're going to do this. So that's starting with the same 6 downstrokes. So we have the same power chord, but now the line goes 2, 3 on the low E, then straight to the 1. You don't do the 2 on the A string. Back to the 2 on the low E. So with this. And then grab the power chord at the 3rd fret now. And that brings us up into the next section. So we have this all together. One more time. Now we pretty much have the same riff that we did before with the same ending at the open power chord. Except you're going to do the power chord, the palm muting at the 3rd fret power chord. Same ending. So we have this all together, slowly. All right, and you would just repeat that again, that whole section. That's just one time through what I just played. All right, so you repeat that. Then we go back into the kind of fast double time riff that we did earlier in the track that leads us into the chorus. There's a slight difference in the ending though, so let me play it into the chorus. Here we go. All right, so that's the chorus as well. So we basically have this. We're going to start the same way, so if you've not looked at the first video, make sure you check that out first, because I'm going to pretty much skip most of the riffs that we've already covered in that first one. But we had this we've looked at already. So we've seen that before. Now leading into the chorus, though, we have this. So we've seen that, but when we do that 6/7, we just do 4 8th note downstrokes, and that takes us into the chorus. All right, so the chorus, we have the power chord at the 7th fret on the A string, E power chord, then 5th fret power chord on the low E twice, over to the 5th fret on the A, same thing at the 3rd fret. All right, then back down to the low E string 3rd fret, twice, palm muted, and then the open, let it ring open at least, the second fret power chord. All right, so all together. All right, then back up to the third fret power chord. Quick little triplet burst, and then do it again. All right, so we had that twice there, and then back to the open power chord. And then we can continue the chorus with. So that's just the same thing we did earlier, the fifth fret. And when we get to the third fret, we start it the same way, but he does kind of a quarter note triplet there. So the rhythm there is important. It's the same chords we did before. Low E string power chord to the third fret, and then over to the fifth string. That twice, back down to 3. So the rhythm is the important 3. Kind of drag it out a little bit there. All right, and then we're gonna have, you've seen that, it's just before, and then we go back into, and then obviously back through the same parts of the song we've already covered, back through the verse and stuff like that. All right, so as we get through that, we're gonna have a little bit further in the song, about the 2.5 minute mark, we have the kind of a breakdown section. Sounds really cool too. Let me play through it real quick, and I'll show you how to play it note for note. Here we go. All right, so that's really a fun one to play. The essential part here is be able to mix up the muted notes with the open notes. That's what really makes the riff come out. So let me explain that. We start with just a low E power chord. Now we have, without the notes muted, that's low E open, 5, 6, to 7 on the A. Now we mute the low E string. But when you want to do the melody notes, you don't mute it. That's what makes those sound different and pop out. So we have this. Back to the muted open string. Now here, the melody note is actually this, 0, 5, 6, 7. So the last 0 needs to be unmuted to make it pop out. So we have this. I hit it kind of loud there, it sounded obnoxious, but it sounds like this. All right, so all together, just so you can see it in context. All right, so after that, we slide into 7 on the A, to 6 on the low E, 8 on the D, to 7 on the A. So once again, you see that last open string was not muted. So we just want you to just practice that. And that's how you can really get the feel of the riff. It's kind of awkward. All right, so let me play through this whole section real quick for you, real slow again. And actually, as I play it through the second time, you'll see I do the same thing, except I do a full palm muting on the open chord instead of just the open E string. So we have this. actually that ending, I think I skipped that ending. We have sliding from 5 to 6, pick 6 on the low E, then you grab this power chord to the 6th fret on the A string. I think I skipped that actually. And then you start over with a full power chorus. All right, and now as soon as those vocals come in that section, we have it's kind of an awkward rhythm, but it's the easiest part to play of the entire song. It sounds like this. Back to that riff we looked at a little bit ago. So now this is just the open E power chord. We have just the 1, 1, 2. So we have this. So you really let that last one ring. And then we're going to slide up from 5 to 6 and then grab this 6th fret on the low E and the A. Basically, it's the power chord off the A string 6th fret, adding the 6th fret on the low E as well. And then back, little slide, back to the riff. Then that slide from 5 to 6 again, and now you basically same riff again, but you're going to hold the power chord at the 2nd fret on the low E. And after that 3rd measure, come up here to the 8th fret now. Same chord we did the 6th earlier, just at the 8th now. And then, all right, so it's a pretty simple. It's got kind of an awkward rhythm that you want to kind of get a hold of first and just kind of feel by listening to the record a little bit. But it'd be pretty easy after that. It's not technically difficult to do at all. All right, now we have this little harmony guitar interlude we need to take a look at. So there's 2 definitive guitar, harmony parts here. So let me play the lowest one, lowest pitched one first. And I'll show you how to play that, and then we'll take a look at the higher pitched one. So we're going to take a look at both parts here. So let me play through the first one. Here we go. All right, so that's the bottom harmony guitar part, so let's take a look at that. We're going to slide into this first note here, 7th fret on the A, and then 9, 10. So 7, 9, 10, then 7, 9, 10 again. Then 7, 9, and I like to slide from, pick that 9 now with the 2nd, well, play it with the 2nd finger. Move up a fret, slide up a fret to 10 on the A. And then you're going to do this. So that's hammer it 10 to 12, pull back off to 10, pull back off to 9. So we have this so far. Now back down to the 7th fret, 7, 9, 10. Then 7. Then 7, 9 on the D string, the D string. The 10 on the A. Then 7, 9, 10 on the D. So far here, after that first trill part, we have this. Now we have another little trill part. That's hammering 9 to 10 on the D, pull back up to 9, pull up to 7. Then 9 on the A to 7 on the D. So everything we've done so far. Now you just repeat that part again without the opening slide. Alright, now moving on, so we repeated that section twice, so we have something that repeats. It feels kind of random other than that. Then we have this. Alright, so that's that next measure. So we're going to have 10 on the A, then 7, 9 on the D, back to 10 on the A. Then 7, 9 on the D again, so we have this. You basically did that 3 times. And then you can go up to the 10th fret on the D string, and that little trill again, which is hammering 9, 10, pull off to 9, pull off to 7. Alright, now we start with that same look again. I'll play the measure first. Alright, so that's going to be 10 on the A, 7, 9 on the D, 10 on the A again, then 7, 9 on the G. So we have 10, 7, 9 on the D, 10, 7, 9 on the G. Then 9 on the D, 7, 9, 11 on the G, and then from between those 3 notes, we're going to do that little trill. Hammering 9 to 11, pull off to 9, pull off to 7, and end it with a 7 on the D, 7 on the G. So that measure again. Alright, so let's look at the last 2 measures of this lowest harmony part. We have this. Alright, so now we're going to start here on the D string, 9th fret, 9, and then 7, 9 on the G. Do that 3 times. Then up to the 11 on the G, and then that trill between those 3 notes. Now we go the 9 to 7, 9 on the G again, back to the 9 on the D, then 7, 8 on the B, to 9 on the G. So we have this. And then 7, 8, 10 on the B. Then that trill between those 3 notes. It's really just a legato sequence, not really a trill. And then 7 on the G to 7 on the B. So that whole measure. Alright, so now let's take a look at the top harmony guitar line if you have another guitar player to play this with you. So let me play through that real quick. Alright, so that'll follow along with the previous thing, the same rhythm. So let's take a look at this. We're over on the D string now. 5, 7, 9. Do that a couple times. And then 5 on the D, 7, slide to 9. To 10. And then the same familiar trill between these 3 notes. You're going to hammer 9, 10, 12 to 9, 12 to 7. Kind of saw that pattern earlier. And then we have this. So that's the second measure. So it's 5, 7, 9. Then 5, and then the 7, 9 is on the G. So we have this. Then 5, 7, 9 on the G. Up to 11 on the G. and then that trill between 7, 11, and 7, 9, 11. So you've seen that quite a bit, and then over to the 7th fret on the D to 7th on the G. So we have this. So just repeat that section like we did on the bottom harmony. You repeat those 2 measures that we just did for the top harmony as well. And then we play this next measure in the top harmony. So that's just that 9 on the D to 7, 9 on the G. You're going to do that 3 times, up to 11 on the G then, and the trill between the 7, 9, 11. And then the next measure. Alright, so that is 9 on the D, 7, 9 on the G. To 9 on the D, 7, 8 on the B string, to 9 on the G, then 7, 8, 10, and then the trill between those 3 notes, to the 7th fret on the G, and the 7th fret on the B. Alright, next measure, we're in the last 2 measures here. We'll take a look at these 2 together for the top harmony part. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to have the 9th fret on the G, 7, 8 on the B. So do that 3 times. Up to 10 on the B, and then that trill between the 7, 8, and 10. One more time. And then we have the last measure is 9 on the G, 7, 9, 7, 8 on the B. Back to 9 on the G, then hop over 5, 7 on the high E. 8 on the B, then 5, 7, 8 on the high E, and then the trill between those 3 notes. And end it with 7 on the B and 5 on the high E. So that last measure real quick. Alright, so that was a lot of notes there for that harmony guitar section, so obviously you have to be a big Metallica fan to really kind of get through it. But it's there for you if you want to just kind of go through it phrase by phrase. So in the next lesson, we're going to take a look at Kirk Hammett's first guitar solo, in this song at least. I'll see you then.